Welcome back to the SR Challenge Beginner's Guide. Today we're going to be looking at more challenges of the Time Rift. We're going to go through a couple of these to get to 1-3 and see what else we can complete today. Here we go. This is a pretty straightforward basic map, like a similar one we have done before, except now we have 3 units we're facing off against, and we only can bring 2. Freya is going to be, she could be good. Yeah, we'll bring Freya. And who else do we want to bring? You know what? We'll do this. We'll bring Freya and Grenier. How about that?
My time to shine.
So we're gonna have Grenier just run up, and he's going to guard.
Take this.
Probably not the best move, but we're gonna go for that anyways. So there's Freya's talent going off, doing initial damage, and then she takes out that cavalry unit. If that assassin was a little bit stronger, we could be in a lot more trouble, but because we're so high leveled, this is not a problem at all.
Leave it to me.
All right.
And that's that. Pretty straightforward. Nothing to it. Moving on to the next one. Alright, this one's a little bit more expansive. Again, we only bring 2 units, but we have... Let's see. Looks like we're facing off against 5. We have 2 Lancers to the north. We have 2 cavalry on the left, and an archer. So a good idea would be... Let's do this. Actually, I know we said we weren't going to use Matthew, but we'll use Matthew. Okay, we're going to need to use Grenier too. Alright, let's do this.
Please give us a command.
Oh, shoot, I didn't even know that was our unit. I thought that was the enemy. Huh. I need to check their life bars better. Never mind, this is going to be pretty easy. Thought we can only bring 2. So again, just point your units in the right direction. You should be high enough leveled, and this fight should be extremely easy. Assault is one of those skills that you want to have a running up, so the more spaces you move, the more damage it can do. So you want to ideally move up to 3 spaces. 2's not bad, you'll get a 40% increase, but if you move at least 3, you're going to get a 60%. Which basically brings out the strongest point in the move and does the most damage.
Leave it to me.
We're gonna have Grenier attack and not guard because he has no counterattack at range. So it's better to do the damage now. So when the unit moves out, it should do hardly any damage to Grenier.
We can leave at any time.
Send in Laird. And Matthew. Again, pretty straightforward. And that is the mission complete. Alright, let's check out 3-1. So 3-1 has a hidden chest and 2 feats. Clear the level before Sherry retreats, and complete the stage within 5 rounds. Let's see what we can do.
Well,
we're going to skip that dialogue.
We leave Liana in your care.
scroll out. Now, what we got to do initially is always look for that hidden item. So, checking out the room here, what I can see is this item right here. So where my indicator is showing up, that item is going to be our hidden item. Now this one, if I remember correctly, was initially tough to do every single one, similar to how 1-1 was. Just hard to get everything in one fell swoop. So we have an interesting myriad of units here. We have 3 Lancers, including Zoram here. We got 1 Mage to the south. We've got 1 Cavalry unit and 2 infantry units. So, if we did something like this, it might not be a bad idea. We're gonna bring Lewin, just because I want to. If we had teleport, it'd be a lot easier, but we do not. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Let's bring Freya. Because I want to. Let's do it.
Please give us a command.
Okay, so if we're careful, we should be able to do this just fine. We're gonna save his assault for another time. Because his normal attack is gonna be enough damage.
Stand by.
I'm gonna move Lewin in. Oops. Gonna move Lewin in closer. Move Freya in. It's unfortunate that Roga moves in so close. It allows the unit to counterattack him at close range. But that's just how the AI works. So there's a little bit of dancing going on. As you notice, one of the conditions was we need to complete the level before Sherry retreats. Basically, we need to complete it before she is taken out. She will get taken out by the units to the south if she is not careful. You don't have control over her. Again, it's a bit of a race. And then you have 5 rounds to complete it. So Sherry should be showing up after this round, if I'm not mistaken. With that being said, to be on the safe side, we're going to be running our 2 units down this direction.
Please give us a command.
We want to make sure they stay out of the danger zone, so good.
Stand by.
Alright, so for Lewin, we're going to take out this infantry unit here. And then the next turn, he's going to be working his way to the north to try and get that item there for free. So it's okay if Roga gets taken out. He is not part of the conditions for winning. If we can keep him alive... Oh my goodness. 1 point of health? Come on, game. How could you do that to me? 1 point.
Please give us a
I
command.
thought my character was so OP. Look
Stand by.
at that. 1 point of health. You can't get much closer than that, people.
Stand by.
Alright, so we're going to have him attack this one. He gets off his Origin Light, which gives him an attack defense bonus, and then he gets the healing afterwards. So unfortunately, because of his distance, he's going to need 2 rounds to do this. So I have exactly 2 rounds to buffer. So we don't want to engage. Unfortunately, Sherry is going to engage in this. So to be on the safe side, we are going to... We're going to take out Morgan here. Morgan the pervert. Even with assault, even though we had a little bit of damage, did not help us. Laird will need help though, so we're going to have Freya go in. It is okay if we lose 1 unit, it was not the best because we can lose up to 1 person sacrifice.
Please, give us a command.
Balloon's going up there. We're going to have Freya attack. The more damage we can do to kind of reduce the amount of damage, the better. So long as Sherry doesn't take out the Lance unit. I spoke too soon. Looks like I'll be running this event again to get that item.
Thank you for your help. I'm Sherry. You are...
And, well, we got 3 stars. That's good. I'm going to level up. So, more team stamina. We completed in 5 rounds, so that's nice. Get the rewards. That's really good. And we're quickly going to go pick up that item.
You can leave at any time.
So the item is 3 friendship vouchers. Totally worth it. Totally
Please, give us
worth
a
it.
command.
Well, that did not go as smoothly as I thought that was going to go. That fireball really screwed me over. Oh well. We got the reward. And where does that put us? I think we're doing pretty good. See what we got for a mission challenge. Nice. No feats done, that's okay. That puts us at just enough to finish off this episode and do a single summon. So let's go ahead and do a single summon. Again, we don't need to pull on any of these. I mean, we can. We're not going to be using any of the SSRs, so if you want, well, I mean, why not? It'd be exciting. This is a limited time banner if you're playing normally. This banner is only available for a specific amount of time, and these units are only available for a very, very limited amount of time. So, pull on it when you can, but for this challenge and whatnot, we're going to do it just for fun, but we're not going to keep these units. So we're going to go ahead and try. The new banner comes with a different summon clock, too. It's pretty cool. Personally, I like the older one better. Okay, so we got... I'm just going to go ahead and skip through. And we got Liffany. I'm telling you what, guys. This is working out very nicely. And it seems to be that my ideal team is lining up to be Origin of Light. I've got Freya here, who's going to be our main... So... I didn't discuss this on an earlier episode, but we can discuss this now just to quickly catch up on things and just kind of end the episode on a important note. When you're playing this game, you actually really want to focus on a certain amount of characters. So by now, you're starting to pull, and you're starting to get a handful of characters. You got your R units, you got a few SR units. I only have 3, which is not bad for, I forgot, we got Liffany. And you really want to start looking at their factions and seeing what factions they are. So you got Princess Alliance faction, and the cool thing about a new update is they added an indicator to tell you who has the faction buff. So you can look and be like, oh, okay, so these 2 SR units and the Princess Alliance faction has the faction buff. Obviously, we can't do that since we're doing an SR challenge, so that won't work for us. But for Freya, she is a good case where she does have the faction buff, and she's an SR unit. So we can definitely, and more than likely, will be running the Origins of Light. Because if you look at the team so far, we are only missing 2 SR units with Sophia. Sophia's a fantastic healer. And Silverwolf, who is a good assassin. Other than that, we have Jessica, who is a good mage healer. We have Lewin, who is a fantastic infantry unit. Pierre, who is a good water unit, which we have not pulled yet, eventually. And then we have Dios, who's an archer that we're going to be using. So we have very good units for an SR challenge in this class, or in this faction. So we should definitely work towards that. Why not? A lot of people like to pick on the Origin faction because it is a little bit more difficult to play, but for our challenge, it's actually going to be much easier for us to play this faction. With that said, let's go ahead and look at Liffany real quick, because she's the new unit we pulled for this episode. We're going to go ahead and use one of those. Oh, we don't need to. She's at level 16 now. Liffany is an interesting case where she is able to apply a condition onto the enemy after her action. So once she completes an action, she can just stand there. She can move to a unit and, I don't know, buff them. She can attack another unit. But after she is done, she casts a magic bomb on one enemy within 3 blocks. After taking an action, after the enemy unit takes their action, so whenever that happens, which is usually on their turn, they take a fixed damage equal to 2 times Liffany's intelligence, which Liffany has an excellent intelligence stat and magic defense stat, so they're going to be taking a lot of damage, and Liffany is actually a really good unit. I like her quite a bit. She is very similar to Jessica, where she starts off with Windblade. Her next skill that she'll get is Magic Defense Support, which again, it helps out with the immunity to stun and mobility reduction, which is really, really helpful for tanks. So characters like Freya are really going to appreciate it. She also gets Tornado, and you want to take her down her Wizard class, and she picks up Attack Support, which is the large version, so it's a large area that she can cover. Looking at it closely. So yeah, it covers a larger area. It's a passive, so everybody gets buffed by it, and they get immunity to it. Reduction of your attack and intellect, which is really nice. That's a really good thing. And then she gets Acid Burns, which is pretty good. It allows you to not be healed. It gives you a debuff in being healed, which is pretty nice. It's an AoE move, so she gets a few AoE moves, but they're smaller AoEs. She also is able to unlock a Summoner class, which gives her Lightning Strike. It's great against cavalry units, so if you're going to be using Liffany, this is a solid choice to pick up a pretty decent single target skill. And then she gets Sniper, probably her all-time best skill to have, because it gives her the ability Aim. And we talked about Aim a little bit before with Dios. With Liffany, it just makes her an amazing mage that allows her to plant bombs on enemy units and then move out of the distance of that enemy unit, because of the Aim's active skill. So she's a fantastic unit. Definitely going to want to spend runestones on Liffany to at least pick up some of those nice skills. Now, you might be wondering, Ages, how am I going to get these runestones? These haven't come about. Where can I find them? A couple places. You can get them in the honor store, so when you do arena matches and stuff like that, which we'll definitely have to do those in this account for sure. Once they build up enough, you can pick up a runestone, and these runestones are very, very nice. They allow you to change your class into different classes when you haven't used it. We'll cover it when we get to that point, but we haven't gotten to that point, so we don't need to worry about it. Let's go ahead and claim, because we got SR units. Next, the other place you can get it is in the guild. So when you join a guild, which we have to be at level 25 first, you will have access to the guild, and you'll be able to do different various things through it. I'll try and see if I can't find a guild. Unfortunately, because this is not an account I will be playing quite often on, just because it's more for the beginner's guide, I will try and see if I can't find a guild that's not as active, just so that I can show it off, just because we don't really need to... we're going to get plenty of runestones for what we're going to be doing. We're going to be focusing on a core unit of characters, so we don't have to worry too much about branching out too much. But we're definitely going to focus on the runestone in that category. We will be getting runestones as we play through the game, so we don't have to worry about that. There is something in here where they're asking us to go. Oh. Oh, right. Collect your information, your stuff here. I almost missed that. Yes. And it shows up in the menu. Look at that. Fancy that. Okay. And that is going to be it for that episode. But I just wanted to kind of go over... I don't know if I did this a little bit earlier. I'm being very forgetful. But you want to make sure that you're focusing on a main team. So early on, you want to just kind of spread out. You can add, you can get different level ups and increase stats and stuff like that, and power up your allies and whatnot. But eventually, you're going to start to want to focus your units and really hone in what units you're going to be using. So for myself here, I'm going to focus around Freya. Freya is going to be a future faction buffer, which provides bonus stats to people in her faction. And it just so happens I've been pulling a lot of Originalite characters with Liffany, Jessica, Kirikaze, Dios, Lewin, and Freya herself. And then we also... I think that's it. But so far, that is a solid team. We got a little bit of healing. We got a lot of firepower, a lot of hitting power. So this is a solid team we're going to move forward on. And I recommend, as someone who is starting the game out, this is the point where you're going to kind of want to start forming your main team. As you progress through the game, you're going to find out that you really want to focus on essentially anywhere from 6 to, I would say, 8 character being the max. I would really advise you to stick to 6 characters starting off. Eventually you'll want to branch out and build up more and more characters, but that's much later on. You really do want to stick to a solid core team, and it's a definite benefit that we got to pull these units. So let's go ahead and upgrade Freya here, because she got enough of those materials for the upgrade. And that gives her Protect, which is really good. We needed that. Okay, guys. That is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to check out any more of my episodes, please click on the annotations on the screen. Otherwise, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.